I've got a news update for all of you. There's actually 3 different pieces of news I want to touch on that have all dropped today. The first one is the biggest one. The Winter Convergence event is going to be extended. Also, we have found out the exact cost of Umbral shards and how many Umbral shards you get from the mutator dungeons. I have that resource for that now. We also have some news about the changes they made to Outpost Rush on the PTR. And finally, we actually have a secret 4th one here, which is we have some pretty good speculation about when the January monthly release is going to be. When is the patch going to be for this PTR that we're seeing? Now, I knew it was going to be a longer cycle, like 2 to 3 weeks based off what they said. But I'm pretty sure I have either an exact date or one of 2 different dates. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. The very first thing I want to touch on is we have all the numbers for Umbral shards. Now, this is at nwbase.info. I'm actually very familiar with this site. I actually talked to one of the main developers for this site on a regular basis, and he DM'd me and was like, hey, look, we got this resource. We pulled it from the PTR files. Check it out. So it's a pretty good site. It's like, what do you call this? It's like contributors are basically doing like charity work. There's no ads on the website. It's all like multiple people working for free on this. So it makes it not as good. It's a little bit of a jank of a website, but I like this website a lot. I trust this website a lot. So I will link this in the description along with some other stuff. But either way, here's how this is going to work. So the mutator difficulties over here. This is how many Umbral shards we get. And for each expertise bump, here's how many shards you need. It's actually not going to be bad at all. So here's how this works. If you do the difficulty 1 mutator, if you get a bronze rank, you get 27 shards. If you get a silver rank, you get 33. If you get a gold rank, you get 40. This goes on and on and on, and, but it starts to get exponential. It starts to get totally insane. Once you get to the last one, if you actually can do difficulty 10, you'll get 4,000 shards just for beating it at all, getting a bronze rank. You'll get 5,000 for getting silver and 6,000 for getting a gold rank in difficulty 10. And that's a middle ground. Let's go with difficulty 5. So tier 1, difficulty 5, you get 133. Tier 2, you get 167. Tier 3, which is gold rank on difficulty 5, you get 200. 6 is where it really starts to pick up, though. That's what picks up hard. Now, over on the right, we have how much you need for an expertise bump. Well, to push a gear from 600 to 601 only costs 2 shards. By the time you're at 610, it's 25 shards for a level, which is still not bad at all if you can just do difficulty 6. Once you start to get towards the end, though, then it starts to get bad. But still not that bad. So 624 to 625 is 2,500 shards. So if you can actually get a gold on difficulty 10, then every time you do it, you'll be able to bring a piece from like 3 pieces, well, 2.3 or something pieces from 624 to 625. So I mean, it'll be a grind, but it's not so bad. This seems about balanced to me. I feel like this feels reasonable to me because like if you can actually play at a skill level above your gear level, then you can go real fast. Like if your gear's at 600. But you're just so good at dungeons that you're beating difficulty 8 with your just basic 600 gear. Like you just get a gold, gold. Next thing you know, you're at 8. You'll get to 625 in no time, really. So like getting that first bit is not going to be that hard if you're actually good at dungeons. This should be pretty fast, honestly. Yeah, so this is the chart. If you want to reference this chart, like I said, I will link this into the description below the first paragraph. There's going to be that, and then the links to the other things I'm going to be looking at, and then there's going to be links to my socials if you want to follow me on Twitch or Patreon or Discord or whatever. But let's go look at the next thing. So the next thing is there's an update in here about Outpost Rush and what they changed in it. So in this case, it's additional Outpost Rush notes. They increased the Azoth cost of Brute tokens from 500 Azoth to 750, which I agree with because the Brutes were a little too spammy. I saw way too many of them. Summoning stones are now dropped on death, so you got to be careful with those. You're really holding the Holy Grail there when you're running around. Summoning stones now have a rarity associated with them. Epic for Bear, Bear and Wraith tokens, and Legendary for Brute tokens. This should make it clear to players when they are dropped by their place. So when you see a bag and you see it glowing yellow, you're like, oh my god, he dropped the Brute one, and you're going to really fight to pick that up. And if someone else picks it up on the enemy team, you're going to hunt them because you know it was a Brute token they're holding. So that's a cool dynamic. That sounds fun. Outpost Rush Alpha Wolf will no longer summon minions, makes it harder to farm. Outpost Rush gatherables no longer have weight, which is really nice in my opinion. Like, it would suck if you go in and you didn't realize you were full weight and you can't pick things up if you're going to go in there to play that way. Baroness Haynes Icemans now slow the player by 30% for 3 seconds instead of staggering the player, which I don't know. It's either or. They could each get you killed in their own ways when you're fighting other players. So I don't know how I feel. Water can no longer be gathered in Outpost Rush. So this is like the second day of PTR. They have 3 weeks left to develop this. I really hope this is not all that they have for us for Outpost Rush, guys. Because what I have been complaining about to a lot of people in my circles and on my streams is I've been saying that they need to have a hidden MMR system in Outpost Rush. And the main reason for that isn't to be like, oh, you're going to play with people at your skill level, because there's not even enough people to play. Although I would love to see them make it cross-server with an MMR system and ranked and seasons. Then it would make sense. But otherwise, if they're going to keep it just on each server, well, what they need to do is they need to have an MMR system, and then it needs to pick the teams based on the MMR. Like, if I'm, top rank MMR, and there's 7 other people who are top rank MMR in that lobby, and it puts us all on one team, that's when you get those matches that go 1,000 to 50. There needs to be like, okay, there's 7 people who are insanely good MMR. Let's put 3 on one team and 4 on the other, and then there's people in the middle rank. Let's put 5 on one team and 5 on the other. That's why we need a hidden MMR. Not to slow down, like it would still pop matches at the same time, but they would then be able to try to balance the teams a little bit instead of it just being so literal random. It is literally random right now who is on what team, and it makes it so you get these horribly unbalanced matches where you go 1,100 sometimes, and that is not fun for anyone. Also, this one was about feedback for Outpost Rush changes, and they said, we're keeping a close eye on it. One thing I want to touch on with feedback is how score calculations currently work in Outpost Rush has been really helpful. Oftentimes, many players are involved in taking down an enemy, and we want to make sure everyone who helps gets appropriate points added to their score to reflect their contribution. This is on our radar, and the issue that was on the radar was, I don't know what people. Well, did he quote something? Okay, nothing was quoted, so I have no idea. I think my I shouldn't assume gender, but also they said during our playtest of Outpost Rush, we'd like to emphasize feedback centered around the impact of the changes to brute summons, which is really bad to hear that, because that makes me think that, yeah, that is really all they're focused on with this Outpost Rush change. They're not looking at finding a way of balancing teams, which is the only real problem in Outpost Rush, but okay. And I'm sure there's people in the comments will be like, that's not the only problem with Outpost Rush. This is a problem. That is a problem. I had a game where they had 25 muskets, and it was absolute hell. There's aimbots, there's other problems. But, I would like to at least see balanced teams. But now let's move on to the elephant in the room here, which is the extension of the Convergence event. And we basically have the release date for the January patch because of this. So due to the fantastic turnout we've seen from this event, we've decided to extend it to January 25th. Please note that any unopened presents... Oh, this is big, by the way. Please note that any unopened presents and unused event tokens will disappear at the end of the event, so make sure you don't lose out on any potential gifts. Additionally, all the Winter Convergence giveaway items will be available from January 21st to the 25th, which I'm not sure. So are they going to take them away and then give them back last second? I'm not sure how that's going to work. I don't know what that means, but we'll see. Make sure you grab any items you may have missed out on during this time. You might not see them again. So because of that, though, we can assume if the event is going to end on January 25th, that's a Tuesday. So that's right in line with, middle of the week. Patches come out somewhere in the middle of the week. So I would say we're probably going to see the PTR patch January 25th. Maybe January 26th or 27th. But I would assume that they're going to end the event. Bam, here comes the January update. That's probably how this is going to go. So my guess, January 25th or 26th or something right around there, we will see mutators coming to the live server. So that's it for this news cycle. I have no idea how I'm going to jam all that into a YouTube title, but we'll see what I come up with. So yeah, we're going to see the release January 25th. The event is extended through January 25th. The Umbral shard values are known now. And again, I'm going to, in the description of this video, for the third time here, in the description of this video, we have first paragraph, we have link to the Umbral shards graph sheet thing, then links to those dev posts, and then below that, we'll have links to my socials. Which, by the way, guys, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you want New World news, New World guides, New World information and stuff I post all the time. Also, if you want to keep up with me on other platforms, I have a Discord, I have a Twitch channel for when I play other games, and I have a Patreon where I give like insider trading tips that don't make it to the YouTube because they don't work for videos. They just will not work. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, check out the links in the description below. And yeah, that's what's coming to New World. That's what's up with PTR changes, Outpost Rush, all this different stuff. Now you're up to date on the current news cycle for today. and we'll see if there's any more news. I'll you know, post more videos. So, but that's it for today. That's what we can expect, and now you know what the situation is with all this stuff in New World.